live on two active streams. It worked. Look, how about that? We're active on Facebook and on the YouTube. So I got Steve Pilkington on here from Colorado, and he's one of my favorites. Live on two active streams. It worked. Look, how about that? We're active on Facebook and sorry, Steve Pilkington.
A little feedback.
One of my favorites in the WGR Freak Show and Real Brokerage. And we thought it'd be a good idea. Let's just hop on and jam about two things. One is agent attraction, but we got a text message from Molly, one of our mastermind partners recently, that I'm just going to read this. We've decided it's the season of getting kicked in the dick. Lots of strange things that are coming up. And I'm realizing it's happening all around. A lot of people are struggling and trying new things, not only in this market. The people are scarcity all around. Staying focused and not letting anything bring me down. That's all. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is what is agent attraction and what's the power behind that. And as you're doing that, going through your tunnels. So what are your thoughts on that, Steve?
You know, it's funny. It's so on point. And, yesterday, so Molly's been an amazing accountability partner for me in a lot of ways as a team leader. And she's someone I met through, she's another one of the WGR Freak Show members. And we're talking about some of the team and the struggles as a leader on the team. And we've noticed that it's an interesting season right now where whether it's agents are struggling more, whether I think I mentioned this earlier, like we've had more transactions terminate in the last 30 days than we probably had in the last 12 months. We're in this summer's hot, things are nice out, yet there's a lot of uncertainty in the real estate world. And there seems to be a lot of things, like you mentioned tunnels, a lot of personal uncertainty or a lot of personal tunnels that I'm experiencing. I know you had mentioned that you'd been experiencing one lately. So I feel like there's this environment of people that need to lean into each other and need that encouragement. Because, finishing up the call yesterday, when I was chatting with Molly about some of the agent attraction things, she was like, you know what, no matter what, even though you're going through all this stuff, just stay positive. Like the positivity, the energy is going to attract people. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it drag you down, no matter what's happening. And, it's a lot of what we focus on a weekly basis in our mastermind group, Colton. But yeah, that's probably what's been impacting me the most over the last 30 days, especially.
Well, I think what's interesting is I'll get on myself because we've had our own challenges this last quarter with business as well. The message that was working 6 to 12 months ago is not working today to agent attraction. So you have to update that. And what I was getting down on myself was shoot, well, what if you're not as good as you think you are? What if, because you've seen, the events that I host, about 1,500 people in my network, we've got, multiple 7 figures. And it's shit, maybe I'm a scam. Maybe I'm a fraud, right?
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, these thoughts come up, but then you mix other things of life. Like you mentioned what's going on with your mom in her health, my dog going through some crazy things with her central nervous system. And then you have family, you have kids, right? You've got teenagers. I've got younger adults, younger kids and teenagers in navigating through all of this. How do you keep that positive expectation, that positive energy that attracts even when you're having the tunnel?
And that's a great question. So for me personally, I lean heavily on my proximity with other people, that are leaders, that are coaches. I'm part of Place on Monday this week for our owners call, our operators call. We were fortunate enough to have Brendan Burchard on, and he basically talks over and over about how you're going to get kicked in the teeth. You're going to get knocked down. There's going to be so many things that happen to you. What matters is how are you attacking it? What are you doing to keep your energy up? He talks about his meds every day, which is your meditation, your exercise, your diet. And now I'm trying to remember what the S part is. Sleep. You got to get great sleep. And then he goes, and then the other part of meds is your RX, your relationships. Are you leaning into the relationships? Because no matter what around you is falling apart, when you lean into the people that mean the most to you and the people that you can impact the most, then that has a tendency to start bringing you up. And so when I combine things like that with, you got me onto the Chopra app, doing a morning meditation. I'm one of those people where it's so easy to think to myself, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to do the meditation. I just got to get after it because my list of to-dos is so long. Yet when I spend the time and work out and sweat, the endorphins that creates, that helps me, even if I'm getting tripped up, kicked in the shins, knocked down. Having that positive energy just makes it so instead of looking at whatever I'm dealing with just a little bit more negative, I look at it just a little bit more positive. And so the Wim Hof breathing app, the
Hold on, I
Growth
want to
Day
pause you
app, and
quick,
Chopra.
because this
Yeah.
is the whole process of manifestation, right? Like the objective
Mm-hmm.
of agent attraction for me is it's the biggest opportunity because it's where I can build 7-figure residual revenue.
Mm-hmm.
I can scale to multiple 7 figures. Like I couldn't do that just selling houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as this happens, we actually have to do less to do more. And
Mm-hmm.
I look at, okay, if I feel better, I act better, I get better results. That doesn't mean I get to control all the circumstances. That doesn't mean I get to control what's happened politically, within the market, within the rates, with how other people are handling stress or challenges, or even the health of my dog, for crying out loud. I don't get to control this stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
thoughts affect the feelings, which affect the actions, affect the results.
Mm-hmm. And our programming is based on all that. It's this cycle of reinforcing. So, and it's years ago, I learned about this, and I think I may mess this analogy up, but I think it was the water lilies, about how on day 1, day 2, day 3, through the first 30 days of growing, you barely even see it. But then all of a sudden, day 30, the entire pond just fills up with them because they're just laying the roots, they're laying the foundation. I feel like right now is one of those times where the foundation's being laid, where as the market's pivoting, we're starting to see the first signs of some short sales. We're starting to see the first signs of people actually falling behind their payments, which is interesting because people still have equity. Yet from a residential transaction standpoint, things seem like they should be going really well, but affordability is still a super big challenge. Even though weirdly enough, affordability just got slightly better because people are earning a little bit more. Yet I feel like that's a small percentage of what we're encountering out there. And a lot of the agents that we're encountering are really struggling. They're really on an island. And so when I look at attraction, I look at it as how can I positively impact those around me? Yeah. What can I do to potentially change somebody's mindset just like a little bit in their favor? And you mentioned like the passive income thing. I've been a realtor now for 15 and a half years. I've done over 700 transactions. My team's done 2,300 something transactions, yet none of those transactions residually pay me. Mm-hmm. And so much of my focus with my team members is I want to make you the best realtor, the best person, the best mindset, the best soul. Yet at the end of the day, every day you should be looking for what are you doing to plant a seed so that that's going to reward you again and again in the future without having to put the same effort in. So whether it's passive income from growing your downline, passive income from getting investments through buying stock and getting that, like Real Broker stock right now, we've had a great run recently. And I think it's going to continue to go like that. Passive investments, because we're looking at what's going on in the market and we're financially preparing ourselves for opportunities. Like one of your mentors who's just really impacted me greatly is Chris Crone. Yeah. I mean, talk about somebody who, like, because the proximity we're around each other, because of me being in proximity with you and you being in proximity with Chris, like that's something that he's massively taking advantage of the markets today. He's keeping his positive attitude. He's getting up every day at 4 a.m, which is still something I strive to do. And he's finding investment opportunities that are both a win for the people renting those properties, but then they're also a huge win for his clients and for the people investing with them. I want everyone in my world to have this mindset of what are they doing to plant a seed that's going to continually reward them and the people in their world.
Well, the facts are is if you only focus on active income, you will never be free in your business or your financials. Mm-hmm. It just isn't true. And you also have to, if you're going to create that, you still have to have an active income while you build the financial freedom, while you build the residual revenue. So go where the margins are bigger. Go where the payments are bigger. And I think if people can understand that and understand that as they're creating it through agent attraction, which to me is the biggest opportunity in my career right now, because of technology, because of brands like Real Brokerage, even EXP, you're seeing it with LPT, you're seeing more opportunities to monetize. You're seeing the ability, like I know, what's his name? What the $100 million offer, Hermosi. Speaking at the event in October, and what you can build with offers and mentorship and creating new products, it is a huge, huge, huge opportunity. But I think people forget that to go there, to build the multiple 7 figures, to build the 7-figure residual revenue, to do that, you're also going to go through what are called tunnels. This is where you've got this plan that you want, and then there's the plan that God wants, and the plan somewhat kicks you in the fucking teeth just a little bit. Yeah. and how you move through those. And I love the meds that Bouchard taught you guys. Cause I mean, if I didn't have consistent breath and meditation,
Mhm.
23 would have kicked my ass by now, for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And what's funny is that I'm sitting here taking drinks out of my coffee mug, just looking at this. I love my life. Like, what are you doing on a daily basis to remind yourself that this is all a game, or this is all for purpose? Like, we're not, like, I don't show up to buy and sell houses so that I can get commissions. That's the side effect. I show up to help buy and sell houses so I can positively impact people's lives, and I can cause my family to live the experiential life, to squeeze every drop of awesomeness out of this world that we can, while leaving it better than what we found it. And it's going to happen by doing those things to take care of yourself every day, by creating that space that you always mention, Colton, which is like, I'm no doubt ADD. I'm very high performing adult ADD, which can be definitely a benefit sometimes, because like there's times where I can lean into something and just go really deep on it and lose track of time, get into flow. Yet there's also other times where I can keep, because I've got a lot of energy and because I've got a pretty high horsepower for getting work done, I can just keep going and going and going. And I kind of liken it to, like, when was the last time you didn't shut your computer off for like 2 months and you've got like 300 windows open and you're doing a lot, but it's just like struggling and grinding, where you just got to reset things. You got to take that breath, take that space. So what's funny is, so like tomorrow we're hitting the road for 10 and a half hours to go to Nevada for this Starlight train tour. And we're going to be in the middle of nowhere, far enough away from lights that you can see the Milky Way in a way that I guess you can't see in most places. So I'm actually going to be driving through Utah tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude.
What part of
So,
Utah?
we're going straight through. So tonight we're actually going to stay in Silverthorne at our mountain house that we're getting ready to flip, and then we're just hitting I-70 and cutting all the way across Utah.
Oh, nice.
So,
Sweet.
yeah.
Sorry, I
Yes.
distracted you from this.
No, you're good. So, but what's funny is, leading up to this, like, my wife and I were both talking about, like, gosh, should we even do this? Should we just cancel on this? Like, we've got so much other things going on in our world right now. We've got deliveries coming to the mountain house. I've got deals that are happening right now. I've got people in my world that could use my coaching, my guidance, my mentorship. Yet I know that one of the best things I'm going to be able to do for myself and for my family is to unplug, really focus that unplugged. And actually, here's one of the things with unplugging. I don't know if you ever encounter this, Colton, the unplugger's guilt, where you go to unplug.
I don't feel it so much anymore.
You see, and that's something that, like, it's not a struggle as much anymore. It's more of a reminder now, where it used to be a struggle, where now it's more like, the second I start feeling that, I'm like, you know what? Present.
Yep.
It's a gift right now. The more I can be present, stop having anxiety about the future, stop beating myself up over decisions in the past, the more I can be present, the better I'm going to be. And it's amazing how that energy is just going to flow back and forth between my clients, my family, my agents in my world, the people that I can help. And that's where the attraction happens, because the more I'm weathering the storm in a positive way and giving people examples and solutions on how they can weather the storm, the easier it is to actually really attract people in what I believe is the right way.
Don't pretend like you're not being challenged. Don't pretend the market isn't challenging.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. It's a challenge right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, look, we've come up to the end of our time here. So if you guys saw this, I'd love to hear in the comments what you're doing to maximize your agent attraction, but also move through the challenge of the tunnel right now. Steve talked about the meds. Consistent meditation is something that I've used for almost a decade now. And it's game changer, because what you're saying, Steve, is create the space to just be okay and not problem solve. Like just be here and not have to problem solve. Anything,
even if it's for 10 minutes a day.
Even if it's 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a long time. You spend 10 minutes a day repetitively, that becomes a permanent experience.
Oh yeah. And it's okay when you start doing it, or even I've been doing it for a while now. And of that 10 minutes, I might get a minute of clarity on it. And then the other 9 minutes, I am just fighting to keep the onslaught of thoughts out.
All right, gang. Connect with Steve. He's a great mastermind partner, part of the WGR Freak Show, incredible real estate professional and a business owner. And